Hello there, my name is Anton and I am a developer advocate at ChangeStack. Today we will get to know how to query ChangeStack subgraphs. For that we will use Uniswap V2 subgraph as an example. Let's refresh the basic terms. What is Uniswap V2? What is ChangeStack subgraph? Why we need subgraphs in the first place? Let's go to the Uniswap V2 docs. Uniswap V2 is an automated liquidity protocol or decentralized exchange. Each Uniswap smart contract or pair manages a liquidity pool made up of two ERC20 tokens. Anyone can become a liquidity provider for a pool by depositing tokens in return for pool tokens, also called LP tokens. Let's go to the smart contracts part. We need to keep in mind that there are a factory smart contract and a smart contract per each pair. The factory creates pairs. Pairs are where actual swaps are performed. ChangeStack subgraphs simplify the extraction and processing of data from blockchain. Without subgraphs, you would need to aggregate, process, and filter blockchain data yourself. Let's create a new subgraph. Here we have an option. We can pick either elastic subgraph or dedicated subgraph. For this tutorial, we will use elastic subgraphs. They are pre-configured, already deployed subgraphs. We'll see different DeFi protocols, Uniswap V2, Lido, Aave, Return Finance, etc. Let's select Uniswap V2. This subgraph monitors and indexes data from Uniswap V2 smart contracts. With no heavy deployment or programming needed, you can access real-time data. Just add a new subgraph in the ChangeStack console and query data. The same applies to other major DeFi protocols here. Let's click Deploy Subgraph. That's it. We have this subgraph deployed. We can check that it is synced. We can see some basic information about the requests, etc. Additionally, ChangeStack provides us with the graphical interface. Let's try it. We can build and test queries here. Let's get the latest swaps. We can open the Explorer. We can find the entity swaps. For example, we want to get the 10 latest swaps. We need to choose this parameter first. Order by, we will order by timestamp. Order direction descending. We want to see the transaction. We want to see the amount. And we also would like to see what tokens were swapped. Token 0 symbol and token 1 symbol. That's it, our query is ready, let's run it. We received the latest 5 swaps. We can see here the transaction ID, the amount, and tokens that were swapped. We can also use variables here. To do that, we need to define them in this section in the JSON format. I already did that. Also, we need to add these variables to our query. Type amount threshold. Okay. And row limit with int. And let's replace our hard-coded values with our variables. Row limit, okay. And also we need to add the filter on amount USD field, greater or equal, great. And here we can use our variable amount threshold. Okay, for some reason we lost our variables here. Let's add it one more time. Let's try. Okay, cool. So we see that our amounts are greater than 10,000 and we can check the results. To write queries, we need to examine the schema and data types of the subgraph. As you already saw that we use some data types here, amount threshold big decimal, row limit is int. And of course, we would like to see which data types are used here, which entities we have. So let's go to the doc section and check here our entity swaps. We used, for example, this where parameter swap filter, and we use amount USD greater or equal than we can find this field here, and we can see that this field requires big decimal. That's why our variable also must be of this type. Okay, great. Let's move on. Let's get back to the ChainStack console. What else we have here? We have the endpoint for our future requests and so-called subgraph manifest. This manifest defines the smart contracts your subgraph indexes, which events from these contracts to pay attention to, and how to map event data to entities. We can open this using IPFS. This is the manifest. We can see here which smart contracts are used and some other information required for building this subgraph. Perfect. Now let's start building queries with the help of Python subgrounds package. For that, I will use Jupyter Notebook as it provides a convenient interface and we can see the results of our queries. Open the terminal and create a new folder for a project. Then let's navigate to the created folder. Then we need to install the virtual environment if it's not already installed and create a virtual environment. Then we need to activate the created environment. The environment activated, then we can install the package Jupyter. Now we can launch the Jupyter Notebook. Here let's open Jupyter Lab. And here let's select Notebook Python 3. Great, so we have set up our environment and now we can write our queries and see data from Uniswap V2. I have prepared a template. Before running the queries, let's set up our environment here in this notebook. We need to install required packages. Let's do that. Okay, I did that before, so probably you will get something different. Now let's import these libraries into our notebook so we can use them. We are importing subgrounds and pandas, which we previously installed. And also here we are suppressing warnings and adjusting some options in data frames so we can view them in a more convenient way. Now we need to connect to our subgraph. To do that, we need to initiate the subgraph object. Let's do that. Subgraph. Let's set timeout 30 seconds. Then we need to load the subgraph. Here we can specify the endpoint. Let's do that. Let's go to the ChainStack console, copy our endpoint, paste it here, and that's it. Let's run this cell. Okay, sorry, here we have subgrounds. That's it. Now we can build our queries and check the results. First query, we'd like to get place test swaps. First, let's explore the documentation. If you navigate to the docs, you will see two root types. We need query. Then we need to find here swap. Swaps or swap. Swaps contain the collection of swaps. Let's check this type. And here we see some important fields for us: ID, transaction, timestamp, pair, amounts, etc. Also, we can check the parameters that are available in that type. And here we have block height, first, order by, order direction, skip, where. We need, in this example, first, order by, and order our first query. Subgraph, query, swaps. Here we will define our parameters. As we already saw, we have first parameter. Let's take first 5 records. Order by, we need to get the latest ones, so we will order by timestamp. And order direction. Order direction, descending. So here we defined our parameters. Now let's write the columns which we need to return. We'll use our object with the query def method. First, the columns. We already have our query here. We need to add which columns we will use. And the subgrounds allows us to use Python syntax here, so-called field path. We can write transaction ID, and this line gets the ID column. Let's check this type here, transaction. We have transaction field with the type of transaction, and it has this field ID. What else we can take here? Transaction timestamp probably, and also I would like to have the information about tokens. Tokens are in the pair field, pair token 0 and its symbol. We can take its symbol, name, etc. Okay, it's clear. Now move on to our notebook. Transaction timestamp, token 0 symbol, token 1 symbol, and get here amount USD. Additionally, we can define the column names. Transaction timestamp. So that's it. Let's run it. Typo. Okay, great. So we get the latest swaps here. Now let's move on to the next queries. Get token price. How we can do that? Let's first save our token address to a variable. For our exercise, we will use Bitcoin. So let's post it here. Now we need to define the query parameters. Subgraph query token. And here we need to specify the token ID. Now we can do the same as we did before and specify the columns ID, that's the token address, symbol. What else? Let's take the name. We can check it, these fields here. So ID, symbol, name, decimals, supply, volume, etc. Symbol, let's take the name, the price in ETH, and we can also display here the price of Ethereum. Subgraph query bundle F price. Let's do like this. Great, we got the wrapped BTC price in F and the ETH price. Let's move on. Now we would like to work with trading volumes. First we will get hourly trading volume and then daily trading volume. To save time, I will paste the prepared query here. So what we are going to do, we will get the information for pair Bitcoin Ethereum. Then we will also limit the range of time within which we would like to get the data. We'll query pair our datas. Here I'm following the raw format syntax. It's also allowed in the subgrounds package. So what we are doing here is that we are filtering using our pair address, order by timestamp, and descending order. Next we define columns and column names. So all these fields we can find in the document explorer as we did before. Let's run this query and see the result. Okay, great. We have this information, hourly transactions, volume. Now let's do the same for daily trading volume. We'll use the same pair address. We'd like to get the data for last 7 days. Pair address, order by date, descending, first 7 records, and the same here, columns, column names. Let's run the query. Great. So daily transactions, daily volume, both tokens. Now let's move on. Recently created pools. Also, I already have a query here. So we will limit the number of records. we will order by block number using descending order. We use pairs, entity with a few parameters, columns, and column names. Let's run this query. Yep, a lot of created pools. We can also check the reserve in USD. Okay, now let's get the historical data. We'll use the same pair, Bitcoin, Ethereum, order by timestamp, some parameters here, columns and column names. Let's run query. Oh, great, so we have block number, liquidity token balance, timestamp. So let's move on. Let's do the last query, Uniswap performance metrics. Here we can interact with Uniswap the datas. The data, ID, date, daily volume in Ethereum and USD, volume, liquidity, okay, transaction count. So we have few parameters here, columns, column names. Great, let's run. We got data for last 10 days, total liquidity in ETH. So it's, we can say, on the same level. Okay, that's it. We explored the Uniswap V2 subgraph by chain stack, and you saw that it's very convenient for data analysis and performing different queries. You can do that in a few seconds. Just go to subgraphs, add subgraph, and you will create a new instance which you can query and do whatever you want using graphical interface here. So it's a convenient tool for quick analysis or quick testing of your queries, or you can use some packages, for example, subgraphs library. Also, we have examples of interacting with the subgraph using built-in requests library of Python, so you can check that as well. That's it. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe to our channel, explore our documentation, comment, like our videos, and see you soon.